Two of the disciples of Jesus were on their way to a village called Emmaus, 7 miles from Jerusalem, and they were talking together about all that had happened. Now, as they talked this over, Jesus himself came up and walked up their side, but something prevented them from recognizing him. He said to them, "What matters are you discussing as you walk along?" They stopped short, their faces downcast. Then one of them, called Cleopas, answered him, "You must be the only person staying in Jerusalem who does not know the things that have been happening there these last few days." "What things?" he asked. "All about Jesus of Nazareth," they answered, "who proved he was a great prophet by the things he said and did in the sight of God and of the whole people, and how our chief priests and our leaders handed him over to be sentenced to death and had him crucified. Our hope had been that he would be the one to set Israel free, and this not at all. 2 whole days have gone by since it all happened, and some women from our group have astounded us. They went to the tomb in the early morning, and when they did not find the body, they came back to tell us that they had seen a vision of angels who declared he was alive. Some of our friends went to the tomb and found everything exactly as the women had reported, but of him they saw nothing." Then he said to them, "You foolish men, so slow to believe the full message of the prophets. Was it not ordained that the Christ should suffer and to enter into his glory?" Then, starting with Moses and going through all the prophets, he explained to them the passages throughout the scriptures that were about himself. When they drew near to the village to which they were going, he made as if to go on, but they pressed him to stay with them. "It is nearly evening," they said, "and there is almost over." So he went in to stay with them. Now while he was with them at table, he took bread and said the blessing. Then he broke it and handed it to them, and their eyes were opened and they recognized him. But he had vanished from their sight. Then they said to each other, "Did not our hearts burn within us as he talked to us on the road and explained the scriptures to us?" They set out that instant and returned to Jerusalem. There they found the 11 assembled together with their companions, who said to them, "Yes, it is true. The Lord has risen and has appeared to Simon." Then they told their story of what had happened on the road and how they recognized him at the breaking of the bread. Beloved, read from the Gospel of Luke chapter 24, 13 to 35. The Gospel of our salvation. Beloved, it is a wonderful day to come before the Lord to offer the holy sacrifice and to pray for the world and to pray for Ghana and to pray for you who are online with me, that God himself will come to your aid. God himself will bless you with his own glory, that God will lift you up, that the power in his resurrection will fill you and change your story. Beloved, I reflect with you, in his resurrection, you shall never be an apprentice forever. One day, an apprentice will become a master. Beloved, yes, no matter the situation, no matter how long it will take, one day, an apprentice will become a master. When you take your time, when you patiently, humbly continue to listen, follow, obey, one day, you shall also become a master. Because the hope of a master is to see the apprentice also doing well, the apprentice also well established. This is the hope. Beloved, I share with you based on the first reading, where we see Peter and John going into the beautiful temple, where they see a man, a cripple, begging at the beautiful gate. Beloved, it was said of him that he used to do this. He often sits there begging people for alms, for donations for his daily upkeep. But that day was a different day where he encountered Peter and John. So as usual, he went to them and then asked for something from them. But these men looked straight into his eyes and said to him, "For silver and gold we do not have, but what we have we give you. In the name of the risen Jesus, we command you to walk." Beloved, in the name of the risen Jesus, we command you to walk. This is Peter commanded. Who is Peter? Beloved, if we should cast our minds back a little, from the few days we have experienced in the Holy Week and all, we saw not only Judas betraying Jesus, but we also recognize Peter denying him 3 times. We saw the weakness of Peter, where he could not even stand strong to defend his master. Yes, I will die with you, but at that moment, he wasn't prepared to die with him. So he denied Jesus 3 times. Even a small girl could dribble Peter, for Peter to even lie against Jesus, that he didn't know him. But what has happened today? But today he is full of courage, he is full of power, that he could speak that in the name of Jesus a cripple should walk. The person was full of fear. The person who was so weak. The person who could not even defend his own maker, his own beloved one. The person could not even be there for him. But something happened. This is what it means to have risen with Jesus. Beloved, if you have risen with Jesus, things change. If you have risen with Jesus, our level is changed. Beloved, Peter died with him, as Colossians chapter 2 verse 12 makes us understand. And even Colossians chapter 3 verse 1 makes us understand. Peter truly died with him because when he recognized that he was at first, he had sinned, he went in crying and begging for his sins. And by accepting his fault and dying with him, he died with Jesus as well. And he was forgiven. And so that period where Jesus died, Peter died with his maker. Peter died with the Messiah. Peter died with Jesus. So after his resurrection, certain things have changed in his life. Amen. Beloved, so if you also, no matter how you are, if you have died with him, then know for sure that things will change. Things will improve. Our weakness will change to become our strength. Our failures will become our success. The level where we find ourselves in those days, our level will change at this moment because we have risen with him. This was what yesterday I was reflecting with you during Hour of Grace. The word to rise has deeper meanings that we need to understand. One, it says there should be an increment. It should be an increase. Now, Peter, after rising with Jesus, he was weak before, but after, now he's increased in his anointing and his faith in Jesus that he can command that in the name of the risen Jesus, a cripple should walk. This is Peter. So if you also rise with him, if you have risen with him, then there's certain things should change in a situation. There should be an increase in anointing. There should be an increase in our grace. Again, the word rise means the level we find ourselves should be different. Now, Peter was always learning at the feet of Jesus. He was learning, no week was learning. But today he has graduated that he can even do what the master was doing. Yes. Because Ephesians chapter 3, verse 20 says that, yes, he works through us mysteriously. God performs exceedingly abundantly his grace, his powers through us, whom he uses. And so Peter, after allowing himself, look at his level now. He was an apprentice, he was a follower, he was a disciple. Now he commands in the name of Jesus that a cripple should walk. Beloved, his level has changed. To have risen with Jesus Christ means that your level should change. I pray that somebody's level will change. Somebody's faith will increase. I pray somebody's fearfulness should change to become strength for him, to become courage to follow Jesus at this moment. You have risen with him. You have risen with him. Again, the rise means should become important. You should have power and authority. Power not to be selfish, power not to destroy, but power to also go back to have that dominion, that grace Jesus, God himself gave us when he created man. He said, I've created you in my own image and likeness. And so because of that, I've given you the grace to domineer, to take control, to have authority. So if you rise with him, as Peter did, we take back the authority, the power God gave it to us when he formed us, when he made us from the beginning. So we see Peter metamorphosing into a different level, where one, his faith increased. 1, he has had his faith increase in the Lord. 2, now his level of being an apprentice has changed to become now a somebody who command, a leader, somebody who acts in the name of the Lord. And not that, again, he is been given the authority, the power, because he died with Jesus. Because he accepted his mistakes. Because he accepted his fault. Beloved, let can say that I be seeing Baba the master what? Master, when you put it up, Peter, or denying or you know, 3 times, small girl, grandpa girl, I can't manage then. Peter was weak and shaking that he denied Jesus. But until the film so too mona, so from no umpire, yes, no, you are not sorry, and you are not assassin of Brabon. But for yes, you never sorry. You never sorry. Was saying, Master, 1, you can so you're sorry. You say, Jenny, I sorry, into Peter, Jenny, I sorry. Peter, I sorry when you did your man. In the day, ought to make us a yes, you didn't see. Buba for sorry, they and answer. Peter going to mean cash. Peter going, a small girl come to business, a young girl could dribble him to lie against Jesus. And the Peter, why they, the Jedi had a Ashama. Muni, yes, you are sorry. May your faith increase in the name of Jesus. So when yes, you are sorry about Jedi Shamawati, didn't someone say, you never say, let your faith increase. Have faith that, let your faith grow that Jesus will heal the world. Don't give up on him. Again, Peter, you can once say, but from the question I'm going to say, the level as such, or the shiny, or your soul for all some, now so in the American Roma, rather sorry, or the 2 million Ashanama, Aqua by your rat, and the choice of it say, Yami, I can see a fire, see a mere fire. So Peter's level has changed. So we only dealt with him, we rise with him, our level is changed because the level of slavery, the level of a sinner, the level where we have destroyed the grace, the blessing, the royalties we are enjoying, when we rise with him, we are gifted with this joy, with this level again. Again, Peter, to me, we had it. We have the power, we have the grace, we have the authority because it has been given to us a long time ago. You made not do it to me. I check. Now say the Bonne Iran. Head from so Iran. Now what Peter, what did the first to money but we are sorry. The second the 2 million Akasa, Buffia the answer. Beloved, I want you to understand that if you have risen with Jesus, things must change in our life. We shall never be apprentices forever. We shall always be out there growing. Our anointing will be great. We should always have an increment in faith. Our faith should increase. Whatever you do, there should be an increment in there. The level you find yourself, you should go up high. Because Peter, after resurrecting with Jesus, changed. After rising with Jesus, we even command a crib to work once more. I don't know where the level you find yourself. I don't know where you have been reduced because of sin. I don't know where because of the things you are decreasing in your life. I don't know. I don't know why you've lost the authority you have. Why? Because of sin. Know that if you have truly risen with him, Jesus restores us the authority, the power. We are given the level that we need to have as sons and daughters of God, because God created us at a position where it's leveled letter to become like angels, like God himself, like God himself. When we read Psalm 8, again, there should be an increase in faith. Our faith must grow every day, every minute. Where we find ourselves, if I've risen with the Lord, things must change. You shall never be an apprentice forever. You shall never and never be a apprentice, because the Lord Jesus doesn't want you to be an apprentice. He wants you to move forward. He wants you to grow. He wants you to rise. He wants you to get up. He wants you to have an increase in spirit so that he can do great things to the greater glory of his name. Beloved, Peter rose with Jesus Christ and things are rising with him. Today, a weak person can command a cripple to walk. Beloved, the funny I say, no, they should Many people who say that's when you know what the picture they should not person when what people consider as hopeless. That is where God uses to glorify himself. Don't worry. All that you need to do is to rise with him. Is to show that you have risen with him. Let things show that I have risen with Jesus. And the moment those things start showing in your life, by conducting yourself in a well-mannered way, by portraying your true Christian character, there will be an increase. Your level will change. You have the power and authority to overcome all. And above all, God will always be with you. And God will always protect and guard you. I pray that God will strengthen us. That as you have risen with him, his favor, his blessings will always be upon us. Yes, as they took the bread, their eyes open. I pray that as we have risen with him, may God open our eyes to see the beautiful things, to see the great things that God himself has for us today and always. If you have risen with him, it will be forever. Change is coming. God bless you. God keep you. God make you great. Amen.